If you don't like living with family, you can leave, my mom said, while they lived rent-free in my own house. I cooked, cleaned, and paid $2,000 a month in bills. When I asked for space, she snapped, "We're your family. Act like it." Upset, I left. That night, I slept in the car. But at dawn, I transferred every bill into her name. When I returned the next day, my name is Alex. I'm 28. Oldest kid, background person, maker of spreadsheets. The kind of brother who buys the bulk paper towels, labels the shelf, and reminds everyone where the plunger lives. I work the IT help desk at a hospital, night shifts, bad coffee, steady paycheck. I'm calm on the phone when surgeons aren't. I wear out keyboards. I fix things other people don't notice breaking. Last year, I bought a small two-bedroom with creaky stairs and a backyard that looks like a postage stamp. Beige walls, scuffed floors, baseboards painted by someone in a rush. On closing day, I drove there with a single folding chair, sat in the empty living room, and cried without noise. Then I walked room to room with my socks picking up dust and told the cat, "We did it." The cat stared like I'd overpromised. 3 months later, my parents asked if they could crash for a week or two. A burst pipe at their rental. Insurance being a nightmare. It felt obvious to say yes. I'm the reliable one. I carry extra chargers in my backpack. I show up early. I fix the Wi-Fi. Family needs a couch? I have two. I said, of course. 2 suitcases became 8. A week or two became, until the contractor calls. My mom rearranged my pantry like it had offended her. My dad claimed the living room for job hunting, which meant sports at medium volume and the newspaper draped over my coffee table like a blanket. My younger sister, Mia, started dropping by every day to get laundry done because the washers at my building are evil. Her laundry came with friends, music, hair extensions drying on my curtain rod like seaweed. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself being generous now would feel good later. I told myself a lot of things. The bills didn't care about any of them. Mortgage, gas, water, electric, internet, trash, the HOA that sends letters about my bins facing the wrong way. I kept paying. About $2,000 total each month, not counting groceries, which turned into a social experiment in denial. "We'll get the next one," my mom would say, lifting brand-name snacks into the cart like prizes. "You know we've got you," my dad would add, patting his pockets where a wallet should have been. Mia filmed a haul video in my kitchen and forgot to tag me. I tried systems. I put a whiteboard by the fridge with due dates and amounts. I wrote, "This is not a fight. This is clarity." I left room for initials next to line items. The boxes remained blank, but Mia drew a smiley face next to groceries, and my mom wrote love underwater, which isn't legal tender. The house shifted around me. My desk moved to my bedroom so Dad could focus. My second bedroom became storage, which meant my stuff lived in the hallway. My cat started sleeping under the bed. I started drinking coffee in the car to hear silence. The comments piled up the way dishes did. "Why are you weird about the thermostat?" my mom said, nudging it to 75. "You're young. You run hot. Why are you hoarding olive oil?" Mia asked, waving my decent bottle like a flag. "Don't be stingy. Relax, landlord," my dad said whenever I asked to rinse plates. Tuesday night, 9 p.m., after a double shift, I stepped over 3 pairs of shoes and a mountain of laundry to reach my kitchen. A cold pan of lasagna sat glued to the stove. My dad snored in his chair. Mia and my mom scrolled in synchronized boredom. I said, carefully, "Hey, can we talk about keeping the place clean? I'm overwhelmed." My mom didn't look up. "If you don't like living with family, you can leave." I blinked. "This is my house." She finally looked. "We're your family. Act like it." Mia smiled without warmth. "Seriously, Alex. Don't make it weird." Something clicked behind my ribs. Not anger yet. Just a small, hard yes to a thought I hadn't allowed. I went to my room, shut the door, and listened to my mom say, "He's so sensitive," like a period at the end of a sentence I was tired of reading. This didn't start with the house. It started when we were kids. Mia got dance. I got go read. If she forgot her lunch, my mom drove across town. If I forgot, I learned the cafeteria's exact smell of tomato soup and bleach. Report cards. Hers on the fridge with stickers, mine folded into a drawer with good, but try harder. It wasn't cartoon villain cruel. It was the family rhythm. Mia, the shiny one. Me, the reliable background. By high school, I stocked shelves at a grocery and tutored algebra. The money went to savings because college wasn't our problem, my dad said. You're smart. Figure it out. I did. Loans, scholarships, night shifts. I paid for broken sinks with YouTube and pride. I learned when rice is done by sound. Family gatherings trained me to be useful. I jumped dead car batteries. I fixed printers. I drove Mia across town when her migraine hit mid-salon. If I said I couldn't, the group chat lit up with guilt, then silence, then forced cheerful follow-ups that felt like punishment in glitter. When I bought the house, a short sale with a roof that groaned in the wind, I told no one for a week. I needed one private win. When I told them, my mom cried and said, "Now you're a man." My dad clapped my back too hard. Mia filmed a walking tour with empty house vibes and posted it without asking. I swallowed the sour taste and decided to be generous. The boomerang left my hand right then. The burst pipe happened, and they arrived. Day 1. My mom color-coded my pantry and threw out spices she considered suspicious. Day 2. Don't be cheap, she said, nudging the thermostat again. Day 3. My dad borrowed a little cash for groceries, returned with craft beer and novelty chips, and said, "We deserve treats." Treats are great, bills don't care. I started tracking numbers like blood pressure. Gas, $78.42. Electric, $134.30. Water, $62.17. Internet, $79.99. Trash, $23. Groceries, for $112.50 plus, will get you Friday texts. Friday never arrived. I made a whiteboard system because words and marker feel like real rules. I wrote due dates. I pre-drew lines for initials. Mia doodled stars around Wi-Fi. My mom added love again. My dad said, budgets are for people who don't trust each other. They went to bed in my house, in my sheets, on my utilities. Mia borrowed my car to work and returned with a Vinny drink and my gas tank gasping. Oops. She buzzed at 1:10 a.m. because she forgot her key, and when I opened the door in socks, she said, "You're such a light sleeper." That's unhealthy. My mom hosted frugal dinners that weren't frugal. The sink turned into a museum exhibit called Evidence of Parties. My dad fell asleep under commentary from a sports channel set to murmur. "Be quiet," my mom said. "Your father's tired." My aunt called me the rich one for buying paper plates. I drive a 2012 Corolla with a taped mirror. I asked for small things. Please rinse dishes. Please don't use my work laptop to stream reality TV. Please put laundry in baskets, not on the stairs. Wow, my mom said, "You're keeping score." That's toxic. I told Mia no more friends after midnight on weeknights. She blinked. "You're strict now." My dad bought a new mailbox, then asked me to install it while he watched the game. When I said, "Can you help?" he said, "I've had a long week." From what? He answered emails he never sent and napped. The money gnawed at the edges of my days. $2,000 isn't a number. It's a sound. Drip, drip, drip. I started waking at 5 a.m. to sit in the car with coffee just to hear nothing. I missed my old loneliness. The quiet kind. Our talks repeated like bad radio. Me, I need help with bills. Mom, we raised you. Me, I know. This is now. Dad, you make more. Me, I pay for everything here. Mia, money talk gives me anxiety. The day before the sentence that broke something in me, Mia used my emergency credit card for an Uber, then paid for a salon day and 3 sparkly phone cases. I saw the charge at midnight, dry mouth, bank app blue glow. Next morning I confronted her. "I'll pay you back in exposure," she said. Then, seeing my face, "I'll send Venmo tonight." She didn't. That night there were 6 of Mia's friends, my parents, my uncle, and a pot of soup boiling itself down to sludge. Acrylic nails clicked on my cutting board. My cat went invisible. "Oh good," my mom said as I walked in. "We need more ice." "Do we?" I asked, staring at empty trays like they were a metaphor. "Don't start," she said. "You ruin the vibe." "We need rules," I said. My voice shook. Not anger, just disbelief. I had to beg to be comfortable in a house with my name on a deed. "If you don't like living with family, you can leave," she said again, like a slogan. "This is my house," I said, softer, like I was telling the room. "We're your family. Act like it." Everything went quiet except the soup, which hissed like it agreed with me. My dad reached for the remote. Mia half smiled like I'd dropped something, and she was waiting to see if I'd pick it up. I went to my room, put a charger and a clean shirt in a backpack, measured cat food, and left. I did not slam the door. I didn't perform. I walked to my Corolla, slid in, and locked the doors with a click that felt like a sentence ending. Porch light on. House glowing. Figures moving behind curtains. No one called my name. No one noticed. That detail lodged in my throat. I drove to a 24-hour grocery store and parked under an orange lamp. I texted my boss that I needed a sick day. Then I turned off my phone, because waiting for a text that doesn't come is like chewing glass. I reclined my seat and stared at the car ceiling's fabric pattern until it turned into static. Rain came just before 2 a.m., light at first, then chatter. A street sweeper circled. A guy in a reflective vest smoked by his truck and didn't look at me, which felt like mercy. I counted my breaths. I listed bills in my head the way some people count sheep. Mortgage, gas, water, electric, internet, trash, food, cat litter. Repeat. I slept in small shreds and woke with neck pain that felt earned. At dawn, the sky went pale and polite. I drove to the coffee shop with the green awning. The barista slid a cup toward me and said, "Rough night?" I nodded. I tipped too much. Being kind anchors me to myself. I opened my laptop and logged into every account tied to my address. Gas, water, electric, internet, trash, HOA. Streaming no one watches, but somehow always plays. In each portal, I clicked Manage Billing, typed my mom's full name, her email, the same one she used to order groceries on my card, and her phone number. I clicked Save. Confirmation emails pinged. I screenshotted each one and sent them to myself with subjects like gas changed, water changed, until my inbox looked like a checklist unraveling. I wasn't canceling anything. I wasn't pulling a plug or cutting a line. I was reassigning responsibility to the people who said, "We're family," like it made the light free. My hands didn't shake. My coffee went cold. At 10 a.m., with a headache pressing behind my eyes, I drove home. I rehearsed 3 sentences in my head like a script. I'm not your landlord. I'm your son. I won't carry this anymore. They were at the table eating cereal. My mom brightened, brittle. "Oh good. Did you cool off?" Her smile tried to zip the night into a pocket and pretend it didn't exist. "We need to talk," I said, standing. My dad sighed. "Here we go." Mia didn't look up. "Can it be quick? I have a hair appointment." "I changed the bills into your name," I said. "Gas, water, electric, internet. You'll get the emails." My mom blinked, then sharpened. "You did what?" "You told me to leave if I don't like living with family," I said. "I left for a night. Now I'm back with boundaries. If you want to stay, we can sign a simple month-to-month agreement. You contribute toward bills. We have house rules. If not, you can make other arrangements. Either way, I'm done carrying this alone." "You're punishing us," my mom said. "This isn't about revenge," I said, and my voice surprised me by being steady. "This is about closure. About ending a pattern that hurts all of us." "You can't evict your family," my dad said. "I'm not evicting you," I said. "I'm requiring adults to act like adults. The mortgage company accepts money, not gratitude." Mia finally looked up, mascara wand hovering. "So you're choosing money over family?" "I'm choosing sanity over chaos." "God," she said, "you're so dramatic." "It's okay if this doesn't work for you," I said. "But if you stay, we sign at 7. If you leave, drop my key on the hook." No one spoke. I picked up my keys. My mom said, small and cutting, "You'll regret this." "I already regret not doing it sooner," I said, and left again. This time to my friend Erin's couch and her dog, who slept with his head on my foot like a paperweight. My phone lit up at 1 p.m. with a flood. "Your billing details were updated." 8 versions of that sentence. Then my mom, "What is this? Change it back now." Then, "Answer your mother." Missed call. Missed call. Group chat rename. Family emergency. I muted it. My dad texted, "You're being dramatic." Then, "Your mother is upset." Then, "We had plans today. Mia, Wi-Fi is lagging. Fix it." Followed by, "Also, can you cash app me for nails? You said you would." I hadn't. My aunt. "Be the bigger person." My uncle. "Pride comes before the fall." My grandma. "Call your mother." A number I didn't know. "Your dad is at my place. He's cooling off." "Okay." I sent one message to the family thread and to each person separately so no one could pretend they missed it. House rules and terms if you stay. We sign a month-to-month agreement at 7 p.m. today. $600 total toward household bills/groceries due on the 5th monthly. I'll itemize. I keep paying the rest. No hosting without asking me first. Clean kitchen the same day. My car is off limits. If these don't work, I'll help find other options. This isn't punishment. It's boundaries. This is an offer with a deadline, not a debate. I put my phone face down, stared at Erin's ceiling fan, and breathed like I was learning how. She slid a ginger ale onto my chest and said, "Keep going." Her dog snored. At 6:45 p.m., I walked into my living room feeling like security at my own front door. My mom sat at the table, arms folded. My dad hovered. Mia scrolled, legs folded underneath her like a flamingo. My printed agreement lay on the table wearing highlighter like war paint. "We're not signing this," my mom said. "It's insulting." "It's clear," I said. "Clarity can feel like an insult if you're not used to it." $600? My dad said. "Robbery." "It's half the household bills," I said. "I'm still paying more." "We gave you a childhood," my mom said. "I'm grateful," I said. "And the electric company won't accept gratitude." Mia smirked. "He wrote these lines in notes." I slid a pen over. "If you want to stay, sign. If you don't, I'll help you find a place and we can move you this weekend." "You don't treat family like tenants," my mom said. "You told me to leave my house," I said. "You framed me as a landlord." "I'm choosing to be a person with boundaries." The silence had its own weight. My dad grabbed the pen first and scrawled a signature that looked like a medical emergency. "Temporary," he muttered, "until my thing comes through." "He is no thing." My mom signed next with angry loops. "We raised you," she whispered, like a spell that used to work. Mia stared at the line. "I don't have $600, she said. "I'll give you $50 in shout-outs." "You're not on the lease," I said. "You're a guest. You have 2 weeks to decide where you actually live." Her mouth opened, then closed. "You're going to be alone forever." "Maybe," I said, "but I'll sleep." She disappeared into the storage room, re-emerged with a tote, grabbed a hoodie that was mine, and flounced out. The silence after the door clicked felt like oxygen. We did logistics, painful, unromantic, saving. Who buys toilet paper, what day trash goes out, how to label leftovers, how to ask before inviting people over. I put my mom's email on the utilities accounts as the responsible party. She refused autopay, and I didn't argue. My dad agreed to mow the lawn and stop using my good chef's knife on cardboard. I taped the rules inside a cabinet. It felt petty. It also felt like oxygen. That night, the kitchen sink held one mug, mine. I washed it like it was fragile and laughed a little into the soap. I slept 8 hours and woke to birds and my cat standing on my chest like a supervisor. I fed him. We both looked out the window at nothing happening. I almost cried from relief. Then came the ripple effects. Extended family volunteered as mediators. "Aunt, your mother is fragile." "Me, so am I." "Uncle, your father's pride is hurt." "Me, so is mine." "Grandma, don't be cruel." "Me, clarity isn't cruelty." Mia posted a story about toxic people obsessed with money over a selfie with perfect lighting. I muted her. She texted a rent invoice with a crying emoji. I sent a list of part-time jobs and Venmoed $40 for the gas she swore she didn't have. She replied, "Thought you had boundaries." I said, "I do. I'm also your brother." The first cycle of bills in my mom's name hit. She called, crying. "This is so much." "It's what it always was," I said. "You're seeing it now." I talked her through setting reminders. She said, "Autopay scares me." I said, "Late fees scare me more." She did it anyway, muttering about scams. We hung up. I sat on the floor and laughed into my hands because the choice was laugh or headbutt the wall. There were slip-ups. My dad invited friends over for a game without asking. I came home to beer rings on my coffee table. I didn't yell. I stood, pointed at the door, and said, "House Rule 3. He exhaled through his nose, herded them out, wiped the rings with his sleeve, and asked, "Happy?" I said, "No." "Consistent." My mom touched the thermostat one night and then backed away like it burned her. The next day, I bought her a fuzzy blanket and left a note. "Use this instead of the furnace." She used it. "No, thank you. I don't need one." We set a timeline, 3 months to find a place. I made a spreadsheet of rentals, linked bus routes. Starred the ones near a grocery that isn't expensive. My dad rejected every listing for reasons that sounded like running. Too small, too far, too ugly, too many stairs, not enough stairs. I changed the spreadsheet column header from reasons to excuses and said, gently, pick a choice. He glared, then circled one that was fine. We applied. They got it. The night before the move, my mom made lasagna and cleaned the pan like a confession. She set a plate in front of me. Eat, she said. You look tired. Thanks. We ate quietly. The house exhaled. The move took 6 hours. I carried boxes labeled miscellaneous that were not miscellaneous. They were every drawer emptying at once. I kept finding my things inside. My tape measure, my screwdriver, my hoodie I'd written off as lost. I took them back without comment. When the truck pulled away, the rooms felt bigger. The hall was a hall again, not a maze. The whiteboard went into the trash. The couch cushion stood up straight. I stood in the doorway and waited for triumph. It didn't come. What came was clean, like stepping out of a pool and realizing you're warm. That night, I slept without earplugs. I woke up before my alarm because the house was that quiet. I made coffee in my own kitchen and stood barefoot on floors I'd mopped yesterday and thought, this is what normal is supposed to feel like. Nothing snapped into perfect shape after that. It's not a movie with swelling strings. It's a series of small choices that add up to peace. My mom still drops, "You embarrassed me," when she's hurt. My dad still says autopays like it's a disease. Mia still posts quotes about chosen family that are true and also land like darts. Here's what changed. I no longer audition for Good Son by bankrupting myself. I no longer apologize for wanting space in a house I pay for. I no longer hand over my car keys, my credit card, and my sanity to avoid being called dramatic. I ask for what I need. I say no like it fits in my mouth. I put money agreements in writing, even with relatives. Especially with relatives. The calls are different now. Can you help move a dresser? Maybe. What time? How heavy? Can you spot us groceries? I can build a $60 list that feeds you a week. Can we come to dinner? Saturday, 7 to 10, bring dessert, no extras. Boundaries look stiff on paper. Living inside them feels soft, like having a spine and a couch at the same time. A week after the move, my mom texted at 10:04 p.m. We're short on water. Can you cover? We'll pay you back. Old me would have paid immediately and lived in the familiar famine of next Friday. New me replied, I can loan $40. I'll send a DocuSign. Due back by the 15th. She wrote, ridiculous, and signed it 3 minutes later. She paid on the 14th. Progress is a calendar notification and money arriving on time. It's not poetic. It's good. Sometimes I still hear that line. If you don't like living with family, you can leave, and my jaw tightens. Then I look around. Plant thriving. Cat asleep in a sun square. Coffee mug drying beside the sink. My mug, no lipstick ring. The thermostat's little screen at 68 like a steady heartbeat. I breathe all the way down. I didn't fix my family. I adjusted my part in the machine. I stopped confusing sacrifice with love. I stopped mistaking being indispensable for being valued. I set a line and stood on my side without shouting. If you're where I was, family in your space, rent-free in your rooms and in your head, you cook, clean, pay $2,000 a month, and apologize for asking for quiet. Here's the script I wish I'd had. Write it down. Prices, dates, rules, consequences. Say it once, calmly. Expect blowback. Expect silence. Expect the parking lot night and the orange lamp and the thought, maybe I'm the villain. Expect, after, a kind of peace that isn't loud. It sounds like a dishwasher finishing a cycle. It looks like a cat blinking at you from a windowsill. It feels like putting your keys in a bowl by the door and knowing exactly where they'll be tomorrow. My name is Alex. I'm 28. Not the golden child. Not the rebel. Not invisible. I'm the one with a house that feels like a home because I finally acted like it's mine. And when I lock the door at night, it's not to keep people out. It's to keep peace in.